Welcome to a new season of Salty Takeaways and Bitter End. And it's John here, Jarrett there, and we have escaped Mercedes-Benz Stadium after what was 1-0, finished up 2-1, Jarrett.
Again, these games get drunk between these two teams. They've yet to play a normal game. They just cannot be normal, and that continued. It took a while to get there. This game was imbibing alcohol at a very slow and unnoticeable rate. This game was this game was not like all these other games have been your friend who has the lampshade on their head and they are the life of the party and they are going ham. Traditionally, this game was that person who sits in the corner and you think, man, they've been nursing that Varsteiner for 2 hours. No, that's Varsteiner number 7. And then at the very end, the gremlin comes out. And that was what this game was.
Yes, it certainly was. We'll just go ahead and skip past the 1-0 and get you to how it got to 1-1. Here's both versions where Kevin Egan got a home game on Apple TV Plus and Mike Conti on 92.9.
Atlanta's fans, rowdy and proud, they'll always show up. Will they be rewarded with a late equalizer here? Almada takes it, edge of the area, shoots. Almada! Spectacular from the World Cup champion. And in the 93rd minute, we're all square inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Well, with Thiago Almada, you got to get closer to the ball than that. That's too late of pressure. A really nice corner finds him on top of the 18. He's about 22 yards out. Gubin falls to his knees as this ball goes in. He has done so much work up that left-hand side. He's the one who creates the corner. And a ball played on top of the box. Almada makes no mistake about that one. Loves that top corner finish, doesn't he?
He certainly does indeed.
Lennon to send it down to the far corner. Goal to our right. No short corner option. Lennon will go to the top of the 18. Here's Almada. Takes the shot. Shoots. Score! The world champion, Thiago Almada, the World Cup champion for Argentina, may have just saved at least a point for Atlanta United.
So, Jarrett, we're at 1-1, and there's still a couple of minutes on the clock. It ain't over.
What could happen, John?
It's commonly referred to as this. Once again, Kevin Egan, who got the home game on Apple TV Plus in Major League Soccer, and Mike Conti. And there were folks who had synced up the call, which is what you can do with Apple TV Plus and local radio. So you got to see Mike Conti lay out for 30 seconds.
Thiago Almada will take. Almada! Would you believe it? From 1-0 down, it's a brace from Thiago Almada in stoppage time. A late show.
This to win the match. Final kick of the game. Referee steps away, blows the whistle. Almada goes for goal. Score! I'm speechless. Thiago Almada wins the game for Atlanta United on a right upper 90 free kick at the death. 2 stoppage time golazos for the world champion Thiago Almada.
So 1-0 finishes up 2-1. Here's Gonzalo Pineda after the match.
And then, yes, the game, emotional game, obviously ups and downs, good moments, some other not great, especially in transition, but special about the end of the game, which was the main part probably for the fans. I love that emotion when, you think you're going to lose, you're upset, and then the emotions come for them, the first goal from Thiago from outside the box, and then that last foul, and then that amazing golazo from Thiago. It was very special for us, and I hope the fans are happy with that.
Y'all took, I think it was 18 shots before Almada's 2 goals. It was 18 shots from outside the box. And you talk in the preseason about maybe not doing as many of those, but tonight was it just a matter of feeling like it's just a matter of time one of these is going to go in or at least be on frame?
Yes, it's tough to answer this because we don't plan like that, obviously, right? We are messaging continuously that we want more shots from inside, getting the premises zones, getting crosses across the box in between the goalkeeper, the center backs, cutbacks in penalty spot. Today didn't manifest it like that. That's what I would say. It was not characteristics from us this year. Like in the preseason, we didn't have that amount at all. Probably collecting all the data from all the preseason games, we didn't get as much as today from outside of the box. So I hope we can improve on that for sure. But then on the other side, we won with 2 shots from outside of the box. So it's one of those that is hard to tell the players don't shoot from outside of the box when they do that. So, but yes, we want more quality chances that have more probabilities to be on goal. But we will be working on that for sure.
Gonzalo, are you kind of worried, though, that it's a win, obviously. It's 3 enormous points, emotional matches you mentioned. Looked like some of the issues from last year were creeping up, here and there. Are you concerned that this team could take the complexion of 2022 once again and unfortunately not qualify for playoffs?
No, not at all. Winning nowadays is so difficult, so hard, that we want to enjoy every 3 points that we earned. I think the team played very well at times and was dominating and was on the front foot the majority of the game, forcing a very good opponent. San Jose, I think they deserve a lot of credit. They did a great job today. They put us on some threats tactically and then individually some players. But eventually we forced them to play long balls all the time, which is not characteristic from them, especially their coach that likes to play off from the back and distributing the ball. They were kicking long balls all the time. That's a testament of our pressure was intense enough. We were dictating to me the tempo of the game, which at times should be a little bit faster and more proactive. But at the end of the day, what I'm very happy with is the mentality and the resilience of the team. I mean, 2 goals at that moment of the game is a testament of that tough mentality that I want. And at times you can win in very different ways, different games. And today we won like this, and we will enjoy it, and we will reflect on the film on the next few days, and we will try to correct for the next game.
Joe and Jarrett. Gonzalo, just talking to Thiago Almada in the locker room, he seemed extremely calm and collected, like he had not just scored 2 golazos to win a game. How would you kind of describe his personality and the way he expresses himself on the field?
Well, what can I tell you? I mean, obviously today, I'm sure he was the man of the match. I'm pretty sure. But it's not just about the goals that he scored. It's about the whole game. He was very proactive on getting the balls, on touches. I think he was the one that led us in touches in the final third, touches in general. And he's always looking to attack and to find ways to create a dangerous moment for us. Also defensively, he was doing a lot of the pressing, and at times he was a little bit lost because they have a little bit of numerical advantage, but he was trying continuously to press very aggressively. So I cannot say, anything more than that. He's a fantastic kid with a great mentality, and what I love is his humility. When we start to talk in the locker room, the first thing I say about Thiago and his goals, and he said, is about the whole team. It's about the whole effort of everyone, and I think that speaks for itself. He's an unselfish player that, yes, today he was the hero, but he's willing not to be the hero as long as we win, and that's pretty nice from a 21-year-old.
I wanted to ask your opinion on Franco Ibarra's performance, especially as busy as the midfield was tonight for him.
Yeah, I will like to watch the couple actions, especially in transition at times. As a coach, you start to be on the attacking movements and focus on the attacking movements, and then in transition, and I didn't see the previous movements from our midfielders and center backs to balance out the shape of the team and to prevent the counters. It felt like the whole team was exposed a little bit in transition in certain moments, and I felt that Ibarra suffered a little bit on those big transitions. But after that, what I can remember from Ibarra is winning many, many duels and being impressive in winning those hard tackles. And at times is the message on beneath the tackle is here we go. And at times I can see a few players being afraid of Ibarra coming from behind and just chasing you. And that's something that he has and is part of his qualities, right? And so I like that part. I think tactically he was smart to find certain pockets of space in behind the Bovise, especially in the first half, and then connecting very well with Rossetto. But what I take from him, it was again the attitude and the relentless, ways to regain the ball in every time he could.
Good morning, Coach Doug. Joe?
I wanted to ask you about two new players and two kind of quasi-new players. How did having Brad and Miles back help the team? Could you talk about Brad and locker room at halftime, kind of get everybody a kick in the butt? And then Etienne and Barry, how did they help affect the offense in the second half?
Etienne and Miguel Berry. Okay. So I think you missed one, but I will leave it like that. Yeah. Abraham. But but it's okay. It's okay. I got you back, Doug. Don't worry. Brad and Miles. Yes, probably I should have started also with that. It was I was reflecting on that, and it's a long time since they don't play an MLS game, and I'm sure the whole journey of those two is it's very special for them to be back. Kudos to the the trainers and all the people in the medical staff. They did an amazing job with them, being day after day, suffering the ups and downs of those type of injuries, and they did great. So kudos to my medical staff. So happy, very happy for them to be back. I mean, talking about team efforts and Thiago being the hero, yes, but the saves that Brad did in the first half were amazing, and a couple in the second half. And then obviously Miles, dealing with the pace of Cowell and Ebobisse and dealing in bigger spaces with all of that was impressive. So very happy, not just have them back, but have them at that standard was pretty good to see. Derek Etienne came in difficult moments. I think he tried a lot of things. He tried to cut inside and cross, tried to cross with the left, tried to get in behind. And I think with more confidence and more rhythm and understanding better the movements of Thiago and Andrew, I think that left side is going to be very dangerous. I would like to say also that Caleb Wiley was doing a fantastic job, especially in the first half. He was cramping a little bit at halftime, so that's part of the reason why we took him out, but Derek did very well. Miguel Berry, I think, came, again, it was a difficult game. He was fighting against two center backs, very experienced, very good in the air, so it was tough for him, but what I like is his type of movements. I think once he started to get integrated into the system again and understand when Thiago drops, he can come to play a little bit in between the lines, and from there he has that second run into the box. I think he's going to do well for us, and I was excited about him being on the field. And Luis Abraham, who we put more for tactical reasons, because we wanted to build, instead of three, build with two at that moment. So then Abraham, being on the left foot in that channel, opened up the long switches, the balls in between the lines and all that. Didn't manifest it like that because the rest was doing a good job and we were building very well at times. But it was good to see Luis Abraham and just first game for him with Atlanta.
Luis, in the first half, he had a nice chance, opportunity that he put way over the bar, and then obviously he had the penalty miss. It looked to me like it was affecting him before the half. Did you notice that at halftime? Kind of what did you say to him at that point?
Yes, I mean, it happens. I mean, no one is perfect. If I can tell you about a player that was fully motivated and focused in this preseason, it was Luis. And then these things happen, right? So what Luis has is a full of teammates that support him big time in the tough moments. This was a tough moment for him because it was evident that he missed the chance, and then mentally he went down a little bit. But he has fantastic teammates that support him, that love him, that want him up to his standard, because we know his standard is pretty high, and he's going to help us. I am sure Luis, I have no doubts in my mind, Luis is going to have a fantastic 23. I don't see another outcome based on how he trains, how focused he is, and that's what I told him. I said, this can be just a bad game out of probably 6 or 7 that we already played. The next one, he's going to be fantastic. So that's my hope, and that's the standard actually he sets for himself. So I'm not concerned at all about that.
Vice English, Tyler and Jarrett. Easy. Jarrett, last one. English, Spanish.
some of the players talked about doing the little things aside from goals, and you talked about Derek Etienne coming in, and I know he hasn't had a ton of time as he's been, kind of working his way into fitness, but what about him doing the little things like earning the last free kick, getting in positions, and getting the team in a shape where they're able to keep the pressure on? I wanted to ask about that.
All of that, coming back to defend here next to Andrew, winning a couple balls in our own third, like all those little things is very good, and I'm happy actually that the players are talking about that, because we talk about that the whole time, about yes, we want to be tactically good, we want to be technically good and have positional style that disrupt the opponents based on our positions, all that, yes. But at times football is about those little things, about winning those duels, about winning that second ball, about going and fighting and pressing and chasing and winning that individual and mental battle is so important for us. And I felt that in many moments of the game we did, with a couple lapses where we didn't. So that's where we need to make sure that most of the game we do, and we do at a good standard. So Derek is a good example of that for sure.
All right, Jarrett, you were in the locker room, and you got to watch Gonzalo Pineda and ask him a couple of questions as well. Looking at it now that we've had maybe an hour or so to think about what went down, obviously the levels of the seventh level of drunkenness had been achieved. And what was the locker room like, and what was it like for all the guys?
The locker room we've been talking about this a lot, it feels really different this year. It feels very positive. Very loose and very light. And I think some of that is bringing in a guy like Etienne, who is so he jokes around a lot. Like he obviously, if you watched him play tonight, he came on. I thought he was really good in the second half when he came on. And he's been trying to still trying to find that rhythm after apparently he picked up a knock in preseason. And again, they don't talk about the knocks in a specific way. Same thing in every sport. We don't talk about injuries because we don't want to give anybody any ammunition. We don't want to say, hey, Tom Brady was nursing an injury. We don't want to say, Etienne picked up another injury. They're going to be as cryptic as they are possibly allowed to be within the rules, and sometimes outside the rules with injuries. I digress. Etienne, he's kind of bringing a lightness to it in a fun way. He was messing with Andrew Gutman the whole time. Like, they're joking with each other. Like, everybody is joking with each other. It just felt really loose. And I know some of that is the game. It's an emotionally charged 2-1 comeback, and after stoppage time, it's a nuts affair, first of all. But it feels very loose, and there was a lot of adamant discussion from both Gonzalo Pineda and the players about 2022 doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about narratives. We're not going to do any of that. That is last year. We're not worried about last year. It's in the books. There's nothing we can do about it now. All we can do is make 2023 better. And Brad Guzan was very strongly worded about that. And it feels very loose. The kind of way that, honestly, like, if that locker room is going to be that way all year, and you'll have your ups and downs, you'll feel disappointed after losses, that sort of thing. You'll get excited about wins. If that's how it's going to be this year, I'm not as worried about them hitting like a death spiral, because it doesn't feel tense in there right now. And it feels like they have tried to compartmentalize what was last season, and this season is now their responsibility. Now, that means you still have to make 2023 work.
Yep.
You still have to produce. That is very important and part of this. But it feels like they have put 2022 in a box, have locked it up, put the cement shoes on it, and tossed it in the harbor.
When you look at the new guys that have come in to replace the individuals who are no longer a part of Atlanta United, what were some of your takeaways? You mentioned Derek Etienne in the
I too do miss Alex DeJohn. Thank you for bringing that up. The king who played with a broken elbow.
Yep. When you look at the new guys, what stuck in your mind with this first match? And the biggest thing to remind everybody is that you had 4 starters out, basically, for all intents and purposes. Yeah. You had 4 starters out. You did not have Giacomakis. You did not have Sosa. You did not have Etienne coming in until 35 minutes to go, and it was because of Caleb Wiley cramping that was why they ended up doing that with 35 to go. So, I mean, you had 4 starters that were not a part of your starting lineup, and you were still getting chances, not finishing them. Yes, I know folks were still talking about that on social media, but you had 4 guys in your that were not starting that should be a part of your starting lineup that were not around.
Yeah, and you got some of them in there, and I thought they were good. Andrew Gutman was very, very blunt about, look, Miguel Berry just got here. He doesn't know everything yet. He doesn't know the system. He doesn't know, it's not the same as a playbook. But, we talk about that in football, John, where if you bring somebody in, they might not know the playbook, and they're going to be limited. You got to work them in. And Berry's been trying to get worked in quickly, but I thought he gave you effort tonight, which is what you needed. You needed somebody to be a pest, and he was. Etienne was really good, and Etienne did the little things really well. He earns the free kick at the end. He's combining. He's getting in good positions, and he's doing those little things. Picking up a free kick, blocking someone off, making a ghost run to free up somebody else. So San Jose did this really well with the way they used Abobasi during the game, where he's dropping back, kind of helping load up the midfield and making it tough for Atlanta, making really late runs in the box where they're not tracking him, and then they pick him up late, or they lose him, or the handoff's not smooth, whatever it might be. But I thought Etienne did that really well. As much as he's really fun to talk to. He jokes around a lot. He's very loose. You get Abram late in the game, who comes in as kind of that Alan Franco role. And look, I mean, you want to be honest, that second defender spot should be open up right now. That's an open season because Juanjo Peralta's not locking it down. He hasn't been locking it down in preseason, and God love Air Force One for what he gives you. But he hasn't put that position on lockdown. If Abram is able to get in healthy, I think he's going to have every opportunity to lay claim to that starting spot.
Right. And so Atlanta United, you take the 3 points and run. And
hell yeah,
absolutely.
You stole that.
Hey, but 3 points is 3 points, and you look at the opponent coming in next week in Toronto FC, and they lose to DC United, and they may have also lost Lorenzo Insigne with a non-contact knee injury, so we have to keep an eye on that this week too. So I give the 67,538, and apparently, according to our friends at Major League Soccer, I think it was the first time that you had 260,000 plus crowds in one day for 2 games in Major League Soccer. So you had the crowd in Charlotte, obviously, but I give and Gonzalo Pineda also was one to do this as well, but he was one to give the 17s a lot of credit for sticking with it, and Luchi Gonzalez mentioned this after the match also, that the place, having the fan support and being that 12th individual out there, making it sound like Canadian football, but the 17s being the loud force that we've known them to be, especially in that last 10 minutes, and I'm talking 89 to 99, not necessarily 80 to.
We went on Qatari time, y'all.
Yes, and that's the thing. So I think that the 17s should pat themselves on the back also for what they were able to do in helping will this team forward and making sure that they still heard that, hey, we're behind you and all this kind of stuff. Those kind of intangibles come up big, and they've come up big in the past, and they came up big on Saturday night.
I thought they did too, and it was very loud, man. And not having the glass in the press box, and everyone's talked about it.
Yeah.
It is that when the free kick goes in, and I get it, man. That's I don't know that it's goal of the week, only because I think the first one might be goal of the week.
Yeah.
But the place was deafening. John, you were sitting next to me, Mike. It hurt my ears. The whole place erupted on that free kick.
Yeah.
Now I was talking to Sidney Hunt afterward and to Tyler Pilgrim that yeah, man, like when it left his foot, and it's kind of on. You're like, oh, this is going to be on frame. Oh, he might. He might not be able to. Oh, he didn't. I would love to get like Brad Guzan 1 or 2 drinks in and ask him, hey, do you ever watch those and be like, well, that's not me. Because I know, like, we could ask Jess about this because I know there's goalkeepers union and goalkeepers are weird and you have the GK union. But I wonder if it's ever in their mind like, sucks to be you right now. Glad that's not me having to stop that. Because someone asked Brad during like in post game, like, you think you could have stopped me? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. What do you want me to switch places with him? Like, it's a great finish.
Absolutely.
It's just an absurd. Kendra de Steenaben, who was calling the game with Kevin Egan, mentions that it's, Atlanta has a 3-man wall. Then San Jose has players as well there trying to manipulate it and trying to cover the gaps. And Almada's like, that's cool that you have plans. It's cool that you and your friends have built this block tower. I have a mallet.
That's about right. Yep, it's like, all right, I got a mallet, and it's like it's all cool and everything that you tried to do what you tried to do, but all it takes is one wave to knock over the sandcastle, and you certainly got that with you certainly got that with our gentleman Thiago Ezequiel Almada. So, any last thoughts before we go over Opta numbers and go over what the folks thought on the Twitters, and I let you go?
Yeah, I'm sure people had takes on it, so let's just go.
Well, I was going to say we go over the Opta numbers, and really the only take on the board here before we go is from John Nason. A lot of work to be done.
Let's go over stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, John Nason
let's
says
go over stuff. Sorry, I just meant I don't have anything else to contribute.
Yeah, no, it's like John Nason says there's a lot of work to be done back up in Marietta this week, but take those 3 points and run. Take the 3 points and run. And
you didn't play your best. You didn't play your best, and you got it done.
Yep. Take it and go. And if Toronto just so happens to be one less with Insigne, then more power to you. If it's all about getting 3 points. It ain't all about style or anything. 3 of the first 4 are at home for Atlanta United, and that's what you're staring at. So, looking at the numbers for our friends with Atlanta United, starting lineup, it was you had Brad in net, your back 4, Gutman, Purata, Miles, and Brooks Lennon. In the middle, Franco Ibarra, Mateus Osechu, and Thiago Almada. And your front 3 in the 4-3-3, Luis, Jacko, and Caleb Wiley. Thiago Almada, by the way, punches a 9.1.
That's fair.
With the yellow card. He had a 9.1.
I mean, he was really good even before the goals. He was helping make things happen. He might be the best player in the league right now, and I know that's kind of heresy when you have Hani Mukhtar and Sebastian Joisi, and it's no insult to them, of course, and it's not meant to start a fight, but he's just so stupidly raw talented that it's almost not fair.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not to take a shot at them and to say that they're not absurdly talented. They are, and they've proven it beyond what he has proven so far. But in terms of just that raw talent, yeah, man, he is a cartoonishly talented young man. Enjoy him while he's here because he's going to make he is going to make a lot of money, and he is going to make Atlanta a lot of money.
A lot of 6s and 7s for the rest of the bunch.
Sounds about right.
Caleb is 6'9", Jacko is 6'8", Luis is 6.6. Obviously, the Miss PK has numbers in that. Mateus Osechu at a 6.4, Miles a 6'8". 7s for Purata and Brad. Brooks had a 7.3. Andrew Gutman had a 7.6. Substitutions, according to our friends at SofaScore, were all in the 6s. Amar Sadic came in for 10 minutes, got a 6.9. Luis Abram, Miguel Berry had 6.7s. Derek Etienne Jr. had a 6.5. So that's where we were there. Believe it or not, for San Jose, Tanner Beeson punched a 5.9. You had some 6s, you had some low 6s, and you had some 5s in there for San Jose. Paul Marie had a 6. Danielle had a 6.3. Some 7s in there, but a lot of 6s for San Jose. And Luchi Gonzalez is going to have a long flight home trying to figure out what to do from here. Ball possession, Atlanta United 61-39. Total shots 20-10 for Atlanta United. 5 of them on target to 4, 11 off target, 4 blocks to 3, 8 corners to 3 for Atlanta United, 14 fouls each, 2 yellow cards each. Once again, one big chance missed for Atlanta. 2 counterattacks, 2 shots on each side, 16 shots outside the box for Atlanta United. But of course, and once again, we talked about this with Gonzalo Pineda, when you've got a team that's got a 1-0 lead, and they got a lot of time to kill, you're going to get a lot of folks squished into a very short amount of space. There was a line of 5 and a line of 4 for San Jose, and it was up to Atlanta United to try to figure out how to get through that for an entire evening, Jarrett.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for them because you're dealing with a lot of bodies there, and honestly, like a team in San Jose that got really shithousery. Like the CONCACAF was strong in that second half.
Oh, very much. Yes.
But they managed to make it happen. Yeah, it wasn't the perfect game by any means. Atlanta has stuff they got to work on, and I would assume they'll continue to work on it.
Yep.
But yeah, as everyone said, yeah, you take it and run, man, and you get excited about it and you have fun with it because you don't know if you're gonna have another game like that.
No, unless you have another one with San Jose. Passing numbers, 86% to 80 for Atlanta United. 30 long balls for Atlanta United out of 45 attempts. 27 out of 61 for San Jose. 6 crosses to 2 for Atlanta United. On the dribble, 15 to 26. Possessions lost a little more by Atlanta United over the night. Atlanta United won the duels about 55 to 45%, 64 out of 110. And they won 12 of the 20 aerials on the night, which was really interesting to see that number too. Also on the board, 24 tackles for Atlanta United, of course. With a 1-0 lead, San Jose is going to have more interceptions and they're going to have more clearances. So that's your rundown of your numbers, courtesy of our friends at SofaScore, with Atlanta United winning by the score of 2-1 with the abject. Yes.
Do you want the Franco Ibarra numbers since everybody likes to talk about Franco Ibarra?
Yeah.
Okay. 87 touches, 61 of 69 passes completed. To be fair, a few of those 8 missed passes were pretty problematic. 10 of 15 duels won, 5 tackled, was fouled 3 times. There's a lot that I think Franco Ibarra needs to work on. And I thought he was inconsistent. I thought he had a couple moments where some of his best plays were cleaning up his own mistakes, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather him not be in a situation where he's having to clean up his own mistakes. Maybe don't make the mistakes.
Yeah.
But I had this conversation before we got on that I don't know what y'all expect Gonzalo Pineda to say, because people get really pissy about when he comments and talks about Ibarra and other guys. And this is everybody who wants to talk about it. Have you never talked to a professional coach in your life? Because find me a coach who is going to trash his players.
Yeah.
You might not like what he's saying, and I get it. If you think he played a bad game, and if his criticisms is, there's stuff I like to see him do better, and your thought is, well, no shit. Well, yeah, but find me a coach who's going to shit on his own players.
Yeah.
And you're going to find a guy that people aren't going to want to play for.
Right.
Especially with younger players, you got to keep them pumped up. You have to keep them motivated. You have to stay in a positive headspace with them. And yeah, I thought he was pretty balanced with it about it. I thought he was critical with a couple of things he did, but also was positive about other stuff. It's going to be all right.
And let's
see how he develops. I still think Sosa is I still think Sosa's the guy I want there starting, but you got 3 more games, I think, with 2 or 3 more games to the Barra, and then you go from there.
Yep. And when you have a coach is going to protect his players. A lot of times when you have a coach in a sport, in a team that you may follow, a lot of it deals itself in the chapters of Nunya.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's like, I'm going to deal with this behind closed doors. And the conversations that I have behind closed doors are exactly that. It's going to be me and the player, and we're going to sort it out. This is not going – it's like trades. You're not going to talk about trades publicly. You're not going to talk about injuries publicly. You're not going to talk about negative things publicly because it's stuff that has to be handled behind closed doors for the benefit of everyone involved.
Yeah, they're not gonna come firing out of the gate critical. So it's just, don't expect them to. It's how it is, man. Well, hopefully he's able to build on that performance. Hopefully he's able to clean up the mistakes and get to the point where, like, the great plays he's making are not cleaning up his own mistakes. It's great that he's able to clean them up. So that's where I'm at.
There you go. So that's where we are. And it's going to be another 6 days. And Toronto FC comes to town. Toronto FC, once again, loses to DC United. And they might be shorthanded. We'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, we'll let you know what's going on all week long when it comes to everything as we talk about what's going on with Atlanta United. You beat San Jose. You're getting ready for Toronto. There were some surprise results. We've got Reaction Monday. That's what Reaction Monday is all about. 9:05. It is me. It is Jarrett. It is you and everything else on your mind when it comes to Atlanta United Major League Soccer. So that's the first go-round of salty takeaways for 2023. Jarrett, send us home.
Mucha plata, y'all.
What he said.